What if the Yellowstone Supervolcano erupted tomorrow? Introduction: the sleeping giant beneath America. Imagine waking up tomorrow to breaking news unlike anything humanity has ever seen. A massive explosion has erupted beneath the United States. Thousands of earthquakes shake the ground. The sky begins to darken. Air traffic across North America is suspended. And scientists around the world are issuing a warning that sends chills down everyone's spine. The Yellowstone Supervolcano has erupted. But what exactly is Yellowstone? Located primarily in Wyoming, Yellowstone National Park is one of the most famous natural wonders on Earth. Millions of visitors come every year to see its geysers, hot springs, and breathtaking landscapes. Yet beneath this beautiful national park lies something far more terrifying. Deep underground sits a gigantic reservoir of molten rock known as a magma chamber. This chamber is so enormous that Yellowstone is classified not as a regular volcano, but as a supervolcano. Unlike ordinary volcanoes, supervolcanoes are capable of eruptions thousands of times more powerful than those witnessed in modern history. The last major Yellowstone eruption occurred approximately 640,000 years ago. Today, scientists continuously monitor the area because if Yellowstone were ever to awaken, the consequences could affect the entire planet. So what would actually happen if it erupted tomorrow? Let's find out. The first 24 hours. The disaster would not begin with an explosion. It would begin with warning signs. Weeks or even months beforehand, swarms of earthquakes would shake the region. The ground would slowly rise as magma pushed upward. Steam vents would become more active. Scientists would know something unusual was happening. Then, suddenly, the pressure becomes too great. The Earth's crust fractures. And Yellowstone explodes. The eruption would unleash unimaginable energy. A gigantic column of ash, rock, and gas would blast into the atmosphere. The explosion could be heard hundreds of miles away. Nearby areas would experience catastrophic destruction. Entire forests could be flattened. Roads, buildings, and infrastructure would be devastated. Millions of tons of volcanic debris would rain back down onto the surrounding states. For people living closest to the eruption, survival would become nearly impossible. Within hours, the United States would declare a national emergency unlike anything in its history. But the real disaster would only be beginning. Ash falls across America. As the eruption continues, massive clouds of volcanic ash spread across the continent. And despite how harmless the word ash sounds, this isn't like the ash from a campfire. Volcanic ash is made of tiny fragments of rock and glass. Breathing it can damage lungs. It can contaminate water supplies. It can destroy engines and machinery. Within days, large portions of the United States could be covered by layers of ash. Cars stop working. Power grids fail. Communication networks become unreliable. Airports shut down. Flights across much of North America are cancelled. Cities hundreds of miles away begin struggling with reduced visibility and hazardous air conditions. Agriculture suffers severe damage. Fields become buried. Livestock are affected. Food production begins to decline. Panic buying spreads. Store shelves empty. Supply chains collapse under increasing pressure. And while Americans struggle with the immediate effects, a much larger global threat is quietly developing high above the Earth. The Volcanic Winter. This is the stage scientists fear the most. Along with ash, Yellowstone would inject enormous amounts of sulfur-rich gases into the upper atmosphere. These gases form tiny particles that reflect sunlight back into space. As less sunlight reaches Earth's surface, global temperatures begin to fall. This phenomenon is known as a volcanic winter. The sky appears hazier. Summers become cooler. Growing seasons shorten. Crop yields decline around the world. Countries thousands of miles away from Yellowstone begin experiencing food shortages. Global food prices skyrocket. Governments are forced to ration supplies. International trade becomes increasingly unstable. Some climate models suggest temperatures could remain lower for years. Entire ecosystems would face unprecedented stress. Humanity has experienced smaller volcanic winters before. Historic eruptions have caused crop failures and famines. But Yellowstone could operate on a scale rarely seen in human civilization. For the first time, people everywhere would realize that this is no longer an American disaster. It is a global crisis. The world years later. Years after the eruption, Earth would still be recovering. Many regions would face economic hardship. Governments would spend trillions rebuilding damaged infrastructure. Agricultural systems would need to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Millions of people could be displaced. Scientists and engineers would race to develop new technologies for food production and climate resilience. Yet humanity has survived extraordinary disasters before. Ice ages, pandemics, massive volcanic eruptions, wars. And despite incredible challenges, civilization has always found ways to endure. The Yellowstone eruption would likely become one of the defining events in human history. A reminder of something we often forget. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, we still live on a dynamic planet whose forces far exceed our own. The ground beneath our feet may seem stable. The mountains may seem permanent. The world may feel predictable. But deep beneath Yellowstone lies a sleeping giant. And while scientists currently see no evidence that a catastrophic eruption is imminent, its existence serves as a powerful reminder of nature's incredible power. Because sometimes, the greatest threats are not the ones we can see. They're the ones quietly